Okay, welcome back to InsideFlix. We're going to be doing our weekly box office report. Rich, tell us which films ranked in the top 5 this past box office weekend.
Well, for the second week in a row, Thor: Love and Thunder is number 1 with 46 million. Coming in number 2 is Minions: The Rise of Gru with 26 million. And the new film Where the Crawdads Sing came in number 3 with 17 million. Top Gun: Maverick does it again, coming in number 4 with 12 million. And Elvis is Here to Stay, coming at 5 with 7.6 million.
All right, let's start with Thor and Love and Thunder. It had a really steep drop of 68%. This is one of the steepest drops for a Marvel movie.
I think it's the biggest.
Yeah, for an MCU movie, yeah.
Even it's the biggest, tied with Black Widow.
Well, we talked a little bit about last week about Marvel fatigue. I have to wonder if this steep drop of the second week drop for Thor and Love and Thunder was kind of a reflection of moviegoers becoming burned out by Marvel movies and Marvel TV shows that have been, I guess you could say, less than satisfying.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely think this means that Marvel fatigue is starting to slowly set in, because I've seen just this morning on my YouTube feed and stuff, there's so many young YouTubers right now making videos about how Thor: Love and Thunder is the final straw for them, and that they're done with the MCU, and these are people in their early 20s and stuff. I like the people I thought were eating this stuff up.
Right, diehards.
So it seems like I think that Marvel fatigue is definitely setting in.
Which is a shame, because they just released the best television series I think that they ever done on Disney Plus, the Miss Marvel. So
it is the highest rated show, but the least watched Marvel show.
Yeah, but the thing about Miss Marvel is, 'cause I love the show too, but Miss Marvel is it's so different, mm-hmm. which is what I want from the MCU. I want them to start doing things that are different, but it's so different. It's really more of a family kind of coming of age story. I can see that not really appealing to the MCU audience, because it's not like an action thing, really. There's some action in it, but it's not even the MCU type of action. It felt more like Uncharted or something like that.
Yeah. This is going to be really interesting for San Diego Com, where they have to be debuting the Wakanda Forever trailer. If that's not impressive at all, I mean, this is going to be a big downfall for Marvel. I mean,
well, what's your feelings about Wakanda Forever? I mean, obviously there's a kind of baked in curiosity about that movie, because of everyone's asking themselves, what are they going to do now that Chadwick is not with us anymore? What are they going to do with that character? And they come up with a stinker, and who knows, I'm not saying that it will, but I think that might be a really detrimental hit to Marvel.
Yeah, it's a shitty situation for Ryan Coogler. I mean, it's going to be an almost impossible task for him to pull off something even close to the first Black Panther. So
and if the rumors are true, also it's also a very pivotal movie for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because it's going to be introducing Namor, and it's supposed to be introducing some other kind of interesting characters. I don't know. I'm going to reveal right now, but it's an important movie for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's what a effed up situation for Ryan Coogler.
Yeah,
and I'm sure pretty much every movie that's come out in Phase 4, I'm sure it's going to be entertaining, but it's just going to be a very kind of shallow, disappointing movie. I mean, that's just how everything else in Phase 4 has kind of been. So I don't see, it's too much for Ryan Coogler to be able to fix without having your lead.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's talk about Where the Crawdads Sing. This comes in number 3 with 17 million. So it's a really impressive number for a movie that came out of nowhere. I know this is based on a kind of best-selling book, and certainly there was a female-driven audience for this, but it did pretty well.
Yeah, it's a really good number. It's I was thinking the movie would probably make somewhere between 10 to 15 million, because that's kind of what the Notebook did. That made 13 million. Opening weekend, and this did even better than that. And if it has the legs that movie had, this is going to make over 100 million.
I thought this was going to be open up at second place. Thought it was going to do a little better, but then the critics reviews came out, and most of them pretty much panned it. I mean, it's on a Rotten Tomato score. It's got
kind of how it is with these type of movies, based on these genre of books.
Well, yeah, but Rotten Tomatoes score 37, but the audience overwhelmingly approves of this feature. So it's got a cinema score A-, and 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the user scores on Metacritic is pretty well too. So it might have legs. It might last even longer than we expected.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rich, tell us the rest of the top 10 box office.
Coming in number 6 is Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank with 6.2 million. Number 7 is The Black Phone with 5.3 million. Number 8 is Jurassic World Dominion with 4.9 million. Number 9 is Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris with 1.9 million. And number 10 was Lightyear with 1.3 million.
We should also add that Marcel the Shell with Shoes On came into number 11. It said there was going to be a wide release, but it only kind of opened with just like 150 more theaters. But it's doing pretty well, and I think that's an okay number for this kind of independent animated comedy.
Well, the director just got picked up to direct the Lilo and Stitch live action film, so that's good for him.
But Paws of Fury, on the other hand, it was a huge disappointment here with 6.2 million. Yeah, this movie, like Raymond was saying last week, it does look pretty bad. And although it had like Samuel L. Jackson and Michael Cera as voice stars, this one just did not connect with audiences.
Also, I saw a couple like reviews online, like for Paws of Fury. You know, people kind of trashing the movie and stuff, but in the reviews, like everyone kind of mentions that it's like basically a like almost word by word like remake of Blazing Saddles.
Mm-hmm. Like I don't mind that.
And that the movie is like I think even produced by Mel Brooks, and Mel Brooks is in the movie. And why didn't the marketing kind of lean into that a bit more, like to try to make this maybe a family event, get the grandparents to convince the family or something to take the family to go see this? I don't know. Yeah. Like, why would they hide away from that? Because the marketing, I think, yeah, you could tell that like the movie was going to be a ripoff of Blazing Saddles, but I didn't know it was like literally going to be like a remake of it, like, and even have Mel Brooks producing it. Like, why would they hide that?
Yeah, it's strange. They use kind of like the bad guys campaign. They kind of lean into more of the kid friendly stuff, and like, here's some, vivid colors. Here's some like nice action pieces. Here's some like colorful characters.
here's a cat in the thong.
Yeah, they try to kind of emulate some of those campaigns and promotional spots, but I guess it didn't work. No one really cared about this movie. But another one in the top 10, Elvis. Let's talk a little bit about Elvis, because I think Elvis is doing pretty decently. It crossed over 100 million this weekend. Even though I thought it was going to have a huge opening weekend and it had like kind of just a normal, decent opening, it has proven that, people want to see this musical.
Elvis right now is currently at like 170 million worldwide. What do you think are like the chances of it passing Walk the Line, which made 186 worldwide?
I think Elvis has a good chance to pass it. I mean, there's still life in it. It's now on VOD, like some of these movies on the top 10 list. So it's going to stay around that 5-6 spot for a while, I think.
Also, the other thing to remember is that I think Austin Butler is probably going to be a lock for the Academy Award nomination. Mm-hmm. And if that is true, by the end of the year, this is going to get re-released in theaters. It'll get another boost in the end of the year if it actually ends up getting all those nominations and stuff. And I think it will, at least for Austin Butler.
I definitely could see it being re-released for Oscar considerations. Yeah.
Well, it seems like it's getting a lot of positive word of mouth, and it's obviously doing well in the box office, and internationally, it's doing big in the UK and Australia, of course, because of Baz Luhrmann.
Well, to speak about a movie that has legs, let's talk about Top Gun Maverick. It came out at number 4. It only dropped 22.6%. It just crossed over 600 million domestically.
Yeah, it's doing well internationally, and it finally surpassed the domestic box office total. So worldwide, totally, it's 1.2 billion, and it's the summer hit of the season.
All right, let's talk about what movies are coming out this week on Friday. Rich, tell us what's the big movie?
The only big movie around is Nope, and that's the only thing opening up wide.
This is the Jordan Peele supposedly UFO horror thriller that has a really strong cast, and I think this might do very well. I think it's definitely going to be number 1. I don't know how much money it's going to make. What's your feelings about what's the opening number for the box office?
Well, Jordan Peele's last film made about 71 million opening weekend domestically, which is a huge number. That movie did really, really well, and I personally, and I think a lot of people think and agree that movie wasn't quite as good as Get Out. it was still a solid movie, and to have Jordan Peele back again, reteaming with Daniel Kaluuya, I think that's promising. I mean, this seems like it's going to be a much bigger scale, much bigger scope than anything Jordan Peele has done previously, and yeah, I think there's a big chance that this is going to have a bigger opening than Us. How much bigger? I still don't quite know, but I do think it's going to be bigger than 71 million.
Yeah, I think a lot of the fans have been waiting to find out what the big mystery is behind this film, and it's got that momentum to be I think a big number one film. I wouldn't even be surprised if it reaches 100 million opening.
Yeah, I think this might be another breakout hit. And just judging by this summer, it seems like a lot of the IP superhero movies have done less than we expected. And some of these smaller movies have been the bigger surprise. Top Gun Maverick was not a movie that I thought was going to make this much money. And it is doing gangbusters. Where the Crawdad Sings is another example of a movie that I really didn't know what to expect, and it's doing pretty well for this opening weekend. I think Nope is going to be very good, and I think it might surprise us. And just judging by what we have seen this summer, I think movies audiences just kind of tired of some of this superhero IP stuff, and they're looking for new original work.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, this Nope looks so original. It looks completely fresh. It's like a movie that we really need right now, because I mean yeah, you can make the argument it's just like another alien invasion type of movie. You know, how many of those have we seen? But this looks so completely different than that. You know what I mean? It looks like I'm not even convinced that it is better.
Yeah, we still don't know if it's a UFO or not, or just some cloud. But it has Michael Wincott, who is one of my favorite character actors in the 90s. And to have him to be part of this cast really blows my mind, because I think he's just an awesome actor. And I think they did a really good job of promoting this movie and keeping the mystery alive. Because we still, like we were saying, we still don't know if this is a UFO movie or not.
Yeah, it's true. And I think it's going to be Jordan Peele's best movie, box office wise, for sure.
But look, if we have to make a guess, like if you guys have to make a guess, what do you think it's gonna make opening weekend? I'm gonna go 84.
Yeah, I'll stick to the 100.
I was gonna say around 80.
All right.
All right. Thank you for watching InsideFlix. Bye bye.